Hello and welcome back to the RattleMind Podcast. I am Rye, and joining me as always is my fabulous co-host,
Panchy, almost always.
True. But hey, everyone needs a vacation sometimes.
Sometimes I'm here when you can't even tell.
You know, that was actually interesting conversations to listen back to. Myself just going in, spaces of nothingness. It's like,
Yeah, just utter quietness and then a weird response.
Yep.
People, especially after the Rye is weird episode, I mean, people are gonna start thinking like, am I just a figment of your imagination? That you can record me? Or what if I am your alter ego and this is how you change your voice to talk, and when Panchy comes out this is what they sound like, and then you just keep switching and doing the podcast yourself. And then 2 weeks ago you were hearing the voice but you weren't saying it out loud, and that's why you accidentally couldn't hear me, so
Exactly. It's all in my mind. But it was interesting listening back to that weird conversation of brokenness. But luckily, I do believe our audio issues are corrected, so we will always be able to hear you now.
Good.
Though I still wish I could figure out what I did wrong with the track system. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I didn't set up the tracks after I added the Discord call back in so I could record you. That's why it layered on top of each other.
Well,
the fun of,
GG's.
Yep. Brain had to think and finally remembered. Yeah. Technical difficulties are annoying and fun and weird. And things are figments of my imagination.
It's all a simulation, right? It's okay.
That's true. We live in a simulation.
What?
The whole simulation theory is always weird.
I didn't look into it much. I just love it when people use it as a joke,
Yes.
when something like ridiculous happens.
We're in a simulation. The Matrix has us.
Yep.
They
Glitch
made
in the Matrix.
They made the Matrix movie so we would disbelieve that it's not real, but it actually is. I love conspiracy theories that go into that realm. They made Stargate so we wouldn't know that the U.S. government actually has a Stargate and is traveling the stars. And then, of course, in the show, they had to be meta about it. So they have a show called Wormholes Extreme that's about the Stargate program that's in the show.
Oh, my God.
What other shows? Oh, another fun one is that if you watch Andromeda, where Kevin Sorbo's the lead actor, in one of the episodes, he's trying to pull something out of his cabin, and he pulls out a sword and blonde wig. The sword was like that he had during Hercules, and the blonde wig was to represent the hair that he had back then.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Another weird thing, well, talking about Andromeda and Stargate, a lot of the cast and crew from both series actually worked or was either a guest star or became part of the cast for a bit. So it was kind of interesting because you'd have them jumping between series and it's like, that's a weird to see Michael Shanks playing an evil android. Which Michael Shanks is Daniel in Stargate.
Oh, right. I forget actor names all the time.
Yep. Or you'll see Chris Judge, Teal'c, also playing a artificial intelligence in an episode. So it's kind of interesting. And then the ship's computer, Andromeda, because the show is named after the ship, uh, she joined the cast of Stargate at the very end of the series. She was the replacement doctor. She also has a child with Michael Shanks. Actually, they might have more than one.
Huh. Nifty.
Yep. So yeah, sci-fi was all for people jumping shows and going in between them. Then they changed the channel's name from SIFI to SYFY, and things got weird.
Okay.
Because after they did that change, that was when they started to do the more adult-esque things. So New Battlestar was more gritty and dark and had a lot of stuff like that. And then Stargate Universe was on the same lines as Battlestar. So stylistically, they changed course to a more dark and gritty channel rather than the funny and I don't know, the fun of Stargate SG-1 and Andromeda. I don't even know what sci-fi is doing anymore. I have not watched actual TV in forever.
Yeah, I haven't had cable in ages.
Yeah,
Surprised it still exists.
the odd part is that there's a lot of people. Okay, the trend nowadays is to watch TV shows from basically the 90s and prior, which is weird. That's how much people are kind of like done with all the this show must have an agenda thing, or this show is sex, 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 yet we're not going to show the sex. We'll show his butt because we can get away with man butt.
Huh. I can get behind this trend.
But this trend now, people are watching like MASH, Golden Girls.
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant
Yeah.
the watching older shows.
Yes. And
I didn't hear guy butts and go, yeah, I can get behind that.
yeah, I could get behind guy butts. Yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
No. I actually noticed, especially in like stores, like especially Target and stuff like that, that they started selling years ago stuff like that, like Golden Girls theme stuff.
Yep.
And,
Friends came back and had a lot of more merchandise again. That was
yeah.
one. The TV I have, it has watch free or whatever the Vizio free channels are.
Yeah.
And when you go through those channels, it's the Addams Family channel, the I Dream of Jeannie channel, the MASH channel, the Doctor Who channel, which that's what I watched the most for some reason.
My Samsung Smart TV is very similar. Like every channel is like spamming a certain theme. Like I have one that's just kitchen nightmares,
Yeah.
Like I love it. I absolutely love it. I haven't flipped through all of them. But I do love that concept.
Well, on my TV, it's like hundreds of channels that are specifically themed to each TV show. It's like, wow. It's like, I did not know there were enough shows that are nearly publicly viable to just play nonstop.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I love my smart TV.
Oh,
like Addams. It's
Go ahead.
I mean, in a world of binging, it makes so much sense.
Right.
Like, and it feels like cable, but it isn't because there are commercials. But even the commercials aren't that bad. Like, there's like maybe like 3 before you go back to your next one.
Yeah, and they're all
whereas
less
like with
than
cable,
a minute.
You're watching at least 5 3-minute commercials.
Yep.
like it's longer than the section of the show that you just watched. That's how many commercials there are anymore. But like the smart TV stations, they're the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, I I watched the Addams Family for a whole week once. I was like, okay, let's just play the Addams Family. In
Hell
fact,
yeah. I'd
uh,
watch MASH all day.
oh yeah, my sister's kids loved to watch the old Addams Family TV show. They they would literally turn off the cartoons and stuff and go to my mom and go, "Can we get the Addams Family DVDs?" Okay. So,
Aw.
yeah.
That wasn't something me and my sister got into. Not that we
Well,
didn't like or appreciate it. It just,
right. Well,
didn't.
we're in that weird generation where we watch the older shows occasionally because, Nick at Night, because, leave TV on, fall asleep, parent can't move you
Yeah.
from the couch because you're in your teens and you've gotten too heavy for them. So they just left your butt there.
Right.
Um, so I did watch the older stuff with growing up, but not as, as regularly as you can today, which is kind of weird.
Right.
Um,
I dig it. I dig it.
yeah. In fact, most of my summer vacation was spent, Nick at Night. During the night times, they'd have their blocks of like 4 episodes of each classic TV show. So they had like The Munsters for 2 hours, and then
Right.
I Dream of Jeannie for 2 hours. It's like I stayed up so late that they turned back to Nick Jr. shows because I just watched those the entire night.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Good times.
See, growing up was kind of fun back then.
Yeah.
There were a lot of, real world stuff that was terrible, and that's just general life. Real world stuff is always going
Mhm.
to have terrible to it.
Mhm.
But you really do have to appreciate the stuff that gets you to just go, I'm content. Let's see. So, I mean, as it is, I own only 3 seasons of The Golden Girls on DVD. I feel terrible about that.
As you should. You were obsessed with the Golden
Well, that's another thing, is that Lifetime would play blocks of The Golden Girls and then The Nanny, and we would just watch those forever. And it's like, you didn't have to actually watch current TV shows back then. You could just watch whatever.
Right.
Um, I hate this. I keep having a thought, and then when I go to say it, I just get and that's all I can say. It's like, I seriously was thinking about, I've seen a trend on TikTok or whatever where if you were born between the Hobbit animations, the Lord of the Rings animated movie, and the Peter Jackson's uh, live action movies, you are no longer millennial. You are a Hobbit. Because of all the crap some weird stuff. I think that's funny. I want to be known as the Hobbit generation from now on. I will
That is
proudly
pretty
bear my
epic.
hairy feet.
uh,
Yeah. Well, I think we've, you know, exhausted our brains for this week of recording. So
yeah, fair enough.
I will say thank you to everyone for watching and trying to follow the logic of both the last 2 episodes, because I'm not sure I can follow the logic of them. But remember
Yeah,
to
what good is of a podcast if you can't just freaking ramble?
exactly. But remember to like, comment, follow, subscribe, doodly doobles. Anything you'd like to say before we go?
Nope.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.